Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to This Cartoon Was Too Woke. This should be an interesting video. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
So, I am very old. Well, maybe not very old, but I have reached that age where I'm starting to feel more and more old and left behind on what is cool and popular with every passing year. I grew up in a time before cell phones, before high-speed internet, before social media, before streaming services, and yes, I am that annoying millennial who talks about remembering 9/11 despite only being like 7 years old at the time.
Oh, you ain't that old, nigga. I'm thinking you was like an 80s baby or something. You said before cell phones, brother. You was here when cell phones was a thing. It just wasn't. Cell phones just wasn't what they are now. You was here when the cell phones had the flappy cell phones, the cell phones that only you had to put the bitches on the charger like every 3 hours or so. The big ass cell phone, the ones you had to hold like this and shit. Like, damn, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got the big old cell phone, bro. We come from. You ain't that old, brother.
I am 9/11. I am 9/11.
I experienced it as a child, so it's mine.
But the only reason I brought up my decrepit age is because I want you to know that I'm old enough to remember a little cartoon from the 90s called Captain Planet.
Captain Planet, he's our hero, gonna take pollution down to zero.
Now, I don't remember much about Captain Planet because, again, I might be old, but I'm not that old. But I do remember always thinking it was interesting that the show was able to depict basically the full array of racial diversity within its main cast. They had a black kid, a brown kid, a blonde kid, an Asian kid, a ginger kid, and of course, a large blue deity with a grassy mullet for hair and constantly visible washboard abs, a historically underrepresented minority in film and television. But the premise of the Captain Planet series, from what I can remember, was that this crazy grab bag of racial diversity hires all had these elemental power rings that, when brought together, they could call upon the awesome power of Captain Planet, a benevolent god of nature who protected the earth with his might and perfect pearly white teeth. And again, if I remember correctly, Captain Planet pretty much exclusively protected the world against environmental threats like land, water, and air pollution. But hey, don't take my word for it. Let's listen to the theme song to verify this information.
Captain Planet, he's our hero, gonna take pollution down to zero.
We're the Planeteers. You can be one too. Cause saving our planet is the thing to do.
God, you gotta...
I remember Captain Planet coming on like UPN at like 6 in the morning. I remember Captain Planet coming on at 6 in the morning, bro. That meant it was too early. It was too early. When Captain Planet come on, it's too early in the morning, bro. I remember coming on at 6 o'clock in the morning on UPN. I remember it coming on too early on Cartoon Network. I believe it was either Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. One of them channels that shut that damn show was on. It come on super early in the morning. That bitch, you was up too early. That meant take your ass back to bed, bro. God damn. I know the sun up. The sun is coming up, but still, nigga, take your ass to bed, bro. For real, you be here all fucking hell no.
Love how cartoons back in the day just spelled out the entire premise of the show in their theme song so there could be no doubt about what you were about to watch. But yeah, Captain Planet was a cartoon about a multicultural group of young teens who used their mystical power rings to protect the environment from pollution, and they were led by a literal bastion of the earth named Captain Planet. In the 90s, this was a cool and beloved cartoon that taught kids about the importance of preserving the environment and also how to accept and love people who are culturally and visually different from you. If the same show would have come out today, it would most likely be labeled as woke garbage by the most annoying people on the internet and be canceled after like 5 episodes. Yep. Oh yeah, that's something else I was born before. Woke. I was born before both the inception and the popularization of the term woke by Black people in the early 2010s. This is back when woke referred to staying alert and knowledgeable about whatever dangers and threats might be in the works around you, usually in a racial sense. But I also remember when the term was co-opted by morons and racists in the mid to late 2010s, and then fully bastardized into its new meaning today of progressive politics lazily shoehorned into a piece of entertainment that I personally do not agree with. And just so we're clear, there is no better giveaway that someone's opinion is not worth taking seriously at all than if they ever unironically use the term woke in a negative fashion during their statement. Before the bastardized definition of woke that many people know today, if someone didn't agree with the progressive politics depicted in a TV show, they probably would just call it or say they were trying to poison the minds of our children, which, despite being equally as stupid, doesn't quite roll off the tongue as nicely as calling something woke nonsense. Woke is also far from the first instance of this kind of thing happening. You know, minorities creating something for themselves, only for racists to co-opt it and use it against those same minorities to push their very ignorant agendas. Some examples being, Black people started giving their children unconventional names like Boniqua or Lokisha or the Carpetron Duke Marriott, and racists started using that as a way to categorize all Black people as stupid, obnoxious, or unnaturally violent. Black people started calling each other kings and queens to remind ourselves of our proud heritage and greatness achieved in other countries, and racists started to mock us with a "we was Kangs" meme. Same thing with George Floyd edits, same thing with didn't do nothing, and yeah, I know this is very 4chan, dark side of Reddit and Twitter stuff that I'm bringing up here, but it's on these types of message boards and social media sites where anti-woke morons fester and breed. I remember when woke first came into the lexicon of modern language and took the world by storm, especially millions of Black people telling each other to stay woke in a positive and caring manner. I remember countless pieces of Black media using the term all the time. I especially remember loving the song Redbone by Childish Gambino because that song slaps, and the hook where he goes is pure ear candy. And yeah, I can acknowledge that I'm probably fighting a losing battle with this, but I'm choosing to stand firm on the grounds that I don't want to just keep letting things that I enjoy, especially things made from my culture, to be co-opted and corrupted by assholes with horrible ideologies. So when I say that my favorite cartoon from my childhood, codenamed Kids Next Door, is the wokest cartoon ever made, I say that with no derogatory feelings in my heart. I say it because, at least in my opinion, it's very, very true. And that same wokeness is what made the show so special to me.
But I believe the book exists, and I know what I will write in those pages if I ever find it. 5 words only. I am Kids Next Door.
Codename Kids Next Door first aired on Cartoon Network in December of 2002. But actually, that's kinda not true because the original pilot of Codename Kids Next Door actually aired an entire year earlier as a part of an annual competition that Cartoon Network used to hold for potential new shows called The Big...
Yeah, it was some doctor and a chip and a monkey. Something about a doctor and a monkey. I forgot what it was called though. I think it was Kevin. I think the monkey name was Kevin. It was supposed to be number 4, and then they branched it off and turned it into Kids Next Door.
Big Pick event. This Big Pick event would entail a bunch of pilots that would air over the course of a few weeks, and fans would get to vote on which cartoon they liked the best and wanted to become a full series. Codename Kids Next Door's pilot aired in the second year of this event, and it ended up being one of the cartoons chosen to become one of those full series. Which means that Codename Kids Next Door was literally a cartoon of the people, for the people, and specifically chosen by the people. I still remember watching the pilot episode of the kids trying to get into the local community pool and thinking to myself,
yeah, this will probably end up being a life-defining cartoon for me that I will cherish until the day that I die.
At this time, we would like to request that you hang on to your underwear.
Yep, that's good shit.
Codename Kids Next Door is about 5 suburban kids who work as a part of a secret global organization, also made up of kids, who fight to protect children from the tyranny of adults and teenagers around the world. They have a cavalcade of high-tech weapons, vehicles, and even a goddamn base on the moon. They usually fight against common adult figures in children's lives, like ice cream men, dentists, elementary school teachers, etc. But they also fight villains who represent more broad ideas of common childhood issues, like a villain named the Common Cold, who uses biological warfare to infect kids with the Common Cold.
I'm the Common Cold.
Or a spank-cappy vampire named Count Spankulot, who punishes naughty children by violently spanking them when they do wrong. Okay, this one's a little weird in retrospect, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That one, that's the one villain that probably didn't age well. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That's probably the one villain that didn't age well, was Count Spankulot. Yeah, you just walking up spanking little kids and nah, Chief, nah.
A minor. You's a freaky ass nigga.
But I think you get the idea. These
that wasn't me, that was him.
Of the Kids Next Door, simply named number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, are freedom fighters who battle against the oppressive ruling class of adults and risk their lives on a daily basis to protect their fellow children in hopes of shaping a better tomorrow for their people. In short, these little kids are hardcore as
It's a lie! Everything you know is a lie!
Mr. Uno! Mr. Uno, that's enough!
Rise up and throw off the oppression!
Enough!
But I was just getting to the good part!
And I've always believed the premise of this show to be its most genuine appeal. Every kid, regardless of nationality, culture, social class, has had phases of thinking that life is unfair and they deserve more freedom and agency than they currently have. But Codename Kids Next Door was the first show that I'd ever seen that directly appealed to that childlike desire for freedom and what kids view as justice from their parental figures.
I don't want to go to school today. I don't want to go to the dentist. I don't want to go to summer camp.
If only there was someone or someones who could save me from having to listen to my parents, who I hate. Enter the Kids Next Door. The coolest kids on the block who hang out all day in their treehouse, beat the shit out of adults who try to tell them what to do, and never have to brush their teeth or go to the dentist at all.
Hey, yo.
Even though they probably should. And yeah, that's probably woke enough in concepts to be considered one of the wokest cartoons of all time, especially considering that this aired in the same era as Jimmy Neutron, Ed, Edd n Eddy, and Sheep in the Big City. And holy shit, wait, do you guys remember Sheep in the Big City?
Not really.
What a beautifully stupid show that was.
I'm never going to rent again. Absolutely no more rents. Oops.
Thank you, ranting Swede.
So yeah, Kids Next Door is pretty woke just off of its premise alone. But just like Captain Planet, we're also dealing with a DEI list of main characters that would make even Steven Universe blush. First off, you got number 1, also known as Nigel Uno, who was a bald British-American immigrant with severe authority issues. Then you got number 2, or Hoagie P. Gilligan, a chubby Jewish nerd who is really obsessed with Cree Summers, but at the end of the day, aren't we all?
So take a good look at reality. Whatever you dream about doing, you know you can't do drugs.
Hey, yo! Hey, yo, what the fuck?
And then there's number 3, also known as Kuki Sanban, who is a ditzy girl from a family of Asian American immigrants, and she really loves playing with rainbow monkey dolls. And if you don't know what a rainbow monkey is, then you clearly have never watched this show.
Rainbow monkeys, all so very round. It's a very chunky. Bringing love wherever they go. Everyone is ready.
Oh man, the memories of this show,
Then
bro.
we have number 4, also known as Wallaby Beetles, an Australian immigrant, hopefully you're noticing a pattern here, who, how do you call a kid stupid in 2026 and not make it sound offensive? Can you still say that he would ride the short bus? Is that not woke of me? Should I try to fix that, make it sound better? Nah, whatever.
He on the
He's
spectrum,
really
put it like that.
Really goddamn dumb. But in a kind of endearing way. I don't know. He was always my favorite character.
And for your information, the number 4 is spelled with a Q in Australia.
And then last but certainly not least, there's number 5, also known as Abigail Lincoln, who just might be the coolest cartoon character ever written.
If we're going to put a stop to this Adult Swim thing, we're going to need a plan. And I have just...
Number 5 has a plan. Why don't we just go jump in the pool? Who's gonna stop us?
She also happens to be a black tomboy who I kind of feel like they wanted to make queer, but that could also just be me reaching. This was about 10 years before the Legend of Korra finale and the existence of Steven Universe and Adventure Time, so kids' cartoons having openly queer characters was still pretty taboo and unheard of for the most part back then. Oh yeah, and number 5's parents are also a French woman and Bill Cosby.
What?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Say the darndest things with the threats and the shouts and the...
Yeah. The show overall has aged pretty well in my opinion, but this is one aspect that the writers probably regret. But that's our cast of main characters. A bunch of first and second generation immigrants of various different races, religions, and nationalities, possibly sexualities, and at least one of them could possibly qualify as special needs. And again, it just makes all of this even funnier because this used to air like right after Camp Lazlo. You guys remember Camp Lazlo? Yep. What an absolute dog shit cartoon that was. But on top of the main message of
Cartoon
fighting
Network
back
is
against
goated.
tyranny and oppression, the show also consistently touched on topics of boy versus girl sexism, issues of bullying, struggling with identity, and also coming to terms with our own mortality. And yeah, it did so in a pretty creative way of making 13 basically the day you die as a Kids Next Door operative and become a teenager and forget all your memories of the Kids Next Door, which I always thought was a genius writing tactic.
Time to decommission overaged Kids Next Door. Some of them won't leave without a fight.
But that's what happens when you turn 13, right? You can't be one of the kids next door if you're not a kid.
Those are the rules, but it doesn't make it any easier.
It's the start of a new life, a life without the Kids Next Door, where you have to go into adulthood, but it is the death of your childhood and the death of who you were as a kid. And I realize that in terms of the internet lexicon, some of the things I'm describing about this show here are approaching more of the definition of based, maybe more so than woke. But my whole argument here is basically being woke is based. God, I hate how the internet has affected our language. And to finish off this list of wokeisms that Codename Kids Next Door exemplified, the show also had at least 2 separate episodes that parodied/paid homage to the Matrix films. And I'm pretty sure everyone knows that The Matrix is the wokest action movie series of all time. Codename Kids Next Door started as a pretty goofy and lighthearted depiction of these themes that I've just gone over. But as it went on during its 6-season run, you could really see the show dive deeper and deeper into these themes and start to take itself as a series much more seriously. It still managed to find plenty of moments to make fun of itself for just how ridiculous the whole premise was. You know, kids rebelling against adults when they have parents who take care of them every day. But a lot of the later episodes delved way more deeply into the show's more serious aspects. And some of my favorite episodes of the show are these more serious and sentimental stories. Episodes like Grow Up, End, Future, Utopia, Fountain, Maurice, It. These were mind-blowing stories for my pea-sized 10-year-old brain back in the day. And I still credit this show, and these episodes in particular, for inspiring me to become a writer and a storyteller myself. But Codename Kids Next Door was being woke at a time when being woke was not the standard. A woke show today would just kind of blend in with all the other woke shows that have come out over the last decade or so.
Yep.
But back in 2004, prime Bush re-election season,
fool me once. Shame on you. It fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
this was almost unheard of. But what's even more important than Codename Kids Next Door being woke in an unprecedented time for it to be woke in is that it was just a straight up great cartoon. It really had the perfect balance of goofy humor, cool action and fight scenes, and meaningful and emotional moments that most of the best kids shows tend to have. It was also incredibly creative and artistic when it wanted to be. There were multiple episodes of Codename Kids Next Door that had little to no dialogue at all. Multiple musical episodes that I still catch myself singing the words to or humming the melody all these years later.
Ice cream party! Party! Ice cream party!
They had a plethora of episodes that parodied or took massive inspiration from other movies or TV shows and were cleverly reworked to fit the Codename Kids Next Door aesthetic. And I remember as a kid watching new episodes of this show week to week, how I would never really know what I was going to be in for before the episode would actually come on. Most cartoons find what they're good at and stick to it. Outside of a Halloween or Christmas special that might divert from the usual path, you could watch SpongeBob or My Gym Partner's a Monkey or The Proud Family, etc., and expect to see the same humor, tone, and subject matter that you always see. But Kids Next Door could be a goofy parody one episode and then a sad story of loss in the next episode. It could be a rock opera this week and be a heart-pounding slasher story the week after. It wasn't just a cast of characters that were diverse. The actual show itself could morph into almost anything, and it all still felt true to the essence of its premise. But despite all of the great praise that I just lauded on this show, and despite it coming from an era of entertainment that has seen countless examples of its contemporaries being rebooted or remade for modern audiences, Codename Kids Next Door is one of the only beloved pieces of media from my childhood that hasn't gotten that same reboot treatment, even though the creator of the show, Tom Warburton, made a whole goddamn animatic and concept for what a reboot of the show could be like.
Oh, for the love of... Now my human disguise is acting up! Who was running the tech department while I was on Earth? Holy
She looked better as a plant.
I usually hate the idea of reboots, but this is like the only one I actually want, and they just won't give it to me.
tragic.
Well, this was a show that helped me discover so much about myself and the type of person that I wanted to become. I'm like 99% sure that I became a fan of socially conscious artists like Rage Against the Machine, Lupe Fiasco, Kendrick Lamar, amongst others, because I watched so much Kids Next Door as a kid. And as funny as it might sound, I also kind of credit this show for allowing me to embrace going bald in my 20s. Yeah. I mean, I grew up watching one of the coolest characters of all time, Nigel Uno, be bald as hell as a little kid, and he was still the f***ing man.
There is no hope for escape! Surrender immediately!
Nigel, are those chaps in your class?
Not even close.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga! You know nothing about that!
He was f***ing him, hair or no hair. And his Tim boots had rocket propulsion jets hidden at the bottom. In a weird way, this little cartoon British kid made being bald cool to me. But to get back to the main point, I am well aware that words and their meanings can change over time. Douchebag used to be an insult for women, and now it's pretty exclusively a male-targeted slur. We all know about the different meanings of how different cultures and languages have used different meanings for words like, the French word for sticks. But as I've said multiple times already in this video, what I really hate is when words that were once meant as a positive force for a marginalized group are taken from those groups and then turned back against them. And that was really the main inspiration for me to make this video. That and my clear love and passion for Codename Kids Next Door. You don't have to join me in my hopeless crusade of taking back woke from the racist knuckle-draggers who corrupted it. And you don't even have to agree with me that Codename Kids Next Door is the wokest cartoon ever made. There are definitely arguments for other shows. But what I hope we can all agree on is that we have to draw the line somewhere in terms of what aspects of our cultures we are willing to let be taken and corrupted by the devils of our societies. Many of the coolest and most beloved aspects of American culture have been created and curated by the marginalized groups of this country. From language to fashion to music and so many other things. Racists and culture vultures don't have nearly the amount of power that they try to make us think they do. We have the power to shape the world's taste as we see fit. And I think it's time that we started acting like it.
A big kid once told me, we save kids. That's our job.
So when it comes to situations like these, where our culture and our very way of life is being threatened by others, it can be easy to think like a bitter and jaded adult who's too worn down and apathetic to fight back. But maybe it's better to think like a kid who's still wide-eyed and hopeful about what the world can be, and still has the youthful spirit to fight back against oppressors. The way we saw the world as kids is what shaped our path to becoming who we are now. And for a lot of us, on that path, we end up losing that inner child and losing that original view of what the world could be. Revisiting my favorite show from my childhood has made me realize how important it is to not lose that inner child. and never lose that vision. To put it simply, stay young.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. Do I think the show was woke? Not. I wouldn't say it was woke, but by today's standards, it would be woke. But back then, I just saw it as a show that basically spoke to my intrusive thoughts on how I feel about bullshit, how I feel about going here, how I feel about teachers, how I feel about them punk ass kids down the street that always think they the goody two shoes kids. You know what I'm saying? We used to beat them niggas up, man. How we feel about the ice cream man and shit like that. Like, yo, this was one of them few shows that spoke to you as a kid, bro. If you was a kid around this time, man. Codename Kid Next Door is goated. Not even probably. This is in the top 3 of Cartoon Network shows of all time. What I say is better than Ed, Edd and Eddy, or what I say is better than Ed, Edd and Eddy, or some show. Well, you know what? I don't even know. I would probably say no. What I say is better than Ed, Edd and Eddy and Courage the Cowardly Dog. No, but it's top 3. It's top 3. It's right behind them for me when it comes to Cartoon Network. But I digress. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, deuces.